So I've just had an interesting conversation with the owners yesterday on this old house, and it is 100-year-old, and it was moved here to this block, a 5-acre block, and they had the verandas put on. So what I'm actually painting is not 100-year-old, it's back in the 70s when they moved it here, so that's probably 40 years old, the stuff that I'm moving, but the house actually is 100 years old. Now we have what she wrote here. Greg, pipe into the shed, fixed. Pipe into tank, fixed. Pump fixed, thanks for the info. It's time to do some handrails, and the handrail is in the darker green. So that's these ones here. We have to cut them in nice and put a couple of coats over the top of that. They've already been sanded, but there's a bit of dust over them, so we'll just give them a dust down before we actually continue. So the paint we're going to be using for that is the Dulux Weather Shield Gloss, and the colour is called Thicket. So it's a darker green, and the brush we're going to be using is a Uni-pro Smooth Coat. Now some of these ones that are sold are 63mm. Some of these ones that are sold that look the same as that, but they got a little bit different colour red there, and they have a little different handle, could even be a little bit shorter. They seem to be fakes. Absolute rubbish. They're too hard, they're no good for the job, and they're sold in Australia at Bunnings. I don't know where they've got them from, but they're fakes. They're called Uni-pros, look exactly the same. There are a little few differences you look actually side by side, especially when you use them. When you open them up, you'll see I don't even have any here because I have bought them and tried them. They're not flagged like that there. They're not as soft. These are very beautiful and soft. So these are a really nice brush. That's what's written on the handle, but just be warned, don't buy the other ones. They seem to be a lot squarer, and I don't think they're flagged at the end like you see there, how the tips have been flagged. So let's get stuck into this. They're not on a flat surface there, we get it nice and flat. Let's get the pot. It's got a little bit of loose paint in it, I might have to pull this out. The good thing about these acrylic paints and these acrylic pots, you can just peel out the paint. So acrylic does not stick properly to these pots, and that's actually really good because you can get them out. So I just don't want any loose stuff in there, which seems to be fine. Actually, I'll give you a good example. This is the pot I was using for the post on Friday. So yeah, let's just see. Now this is left to dry over the weekend. It's very rubbery, but this is the acrylic and how it peels out of your pots. So you can try and leave a nice layer of paint in there to dry, and that's what we end up with. Now if this was in Ned Kelly's days, he could actually use it as a helmet. So if it's raining, this is what I use in the rain when it's raining. So that just keeps the rain off your head. Another helpful tip from the painter. Your very own raincoat. Yeah, it can also be used to carry stuff, like if you want to carry things like this, you know, you want to carry your brush around, it's really good, like a little purse. So, and that's what I use that for. Yeah, like that there, see? And this is the stretch capabilities of Weather Shield. So when you paint something and the surface is really good, as it stretches, timber moves, stretches, you know, not as much. I'm overemphasizing it, but timber moves, and that's where this acrylic paint comes in. That's why they guarantee it won't crack while you live in the house. But that's it. Pretty cool, eh? So that's that's quite thick, but that's not actually dry either. And I'm putting a lot of effort into that. So if you were to paint weatherboards or VJ ceilings, you could actually use this paint on the ceilings. It's always good to wet this brush down before you use it, but I didn't do that. When you wipe that, always wipe the paint out of that ring there. You can and that's all finished there now. Well, they got to have another coat, and they'll probably have a little light rub over, see how they dry and how they feel. But other than that, they'll probably have a tiny little rub over with the 180 sandpaper, very light, and then another coat just like that, and then they'll be finished, and all this will be finished. I can pull up my paper and tape, and we'll call that finished. Oh, there's a couple little touch-ups to do here, and a little bit of water stain just to fix up where I hosed it. A couple of little more touch-ups up underneath there, but that's that rafter colour. I'll leave that right till the end. I just want to show you a little trade secret in removing a hair. So we've got a hair there, a hair off the brush. It's only a new brush, so you do expect to lose a couple. Well, we can use our fingers there to pick it off. It's actually a pain in the ass, but all we do is get our brush like this, give it a little flick like that, and there it is. That's the hair. Another little helpful tip from the painter. Looks like we got a little bit of a problem here. The owners have given me the wrong colour, and I've already painted the handrails and that in the colour that they actually gave me, which was a colour called Thicket. Now, under a little bit of investigation, it looks like they've made a mistake between another colour. So what they've basically done is they've painted these steps. Now the colour that they've given me for the handrail is actually the step colour. The colour that I believe that they thought they gave me, this one, because they painted this, you see all the lumps and that in it, they painted this. That's meant to be the colour for the handrails. And that's the colour that they gave me, that one there, which was a step colour. So I just want to point out to you, This isn't my fault. I can't reach these people during the week. It isn't my fault. And the reason it's not my fault is because I insisted that they put the colours on writing. I wanted them to be clear and precise of the colours that they want to use. For example, handrails, thicket, Taubman's thicket, just to make sure. And this is what covers you. So don't ever just paint a house. Someone says, oh, I want it in, lime green, for example. And then you go to the paint shop and buy lime green, and you paint it, and they have a look and say, oh no, that's not the colour I meant. I meant a Bristol lime green, or a Dulux lime green or something. That's not. You have to redo it. So just make sure that it's all in writing. Now I'm pretty sure that it can be fixed this way here, because I've done my handrails, and you'll see the difference between my colour here and their colour there. To fix that problem, all I really have to do is paint their handrail. They've also got other handrails around here. I haven't completed these yet. They've got other handrail here, which I can just paint in anyhow. So that's okay, and I'm reasonably happy about doing that. That's not an issue. I can't see any other colour that they've painted except for those handrails there. Now the original colour, if you see, look at this house here. Now this is a 100-year-old house, the old big door knocker and that. This is the handrail colour that I'm doing now. So it is the correct colour for the era of this house. It is the correct colour. So it's possible that they have made the mistake when they chose that colour. They might have got it done at the local hardware store, and they used, some other Bristol tints in, who knows, or what knows, don't know. But anyhow, always make sure that is in writing and signed off on. Make sure, so that you don't have a problem like, it's not a very nice feeling to know that you painted something the wrong colour and it's your fault, and you've got to pay for the paint, you've got to pay for the labour, you've got to pay for the time. But at least if you've got it in writing, you can say, okay, it looks like you've made a mistake, ma'am. I'm happy to redo it for you. The cost will be, $160 for the paint, and there's 12 hours labour at $70 an hour or something like that. Give them that option then, because they are in the wrong, not you. Because of that, make sure it's signed off. Another helpful tip from the painter.